It's Saturday, 6th of June 2020, and this is the annual general meeting of the Chartered Trustees of the City of Bath. The main purpose of this meeting is to formally elect the Mayor and Deputy Mayor of the City of Bath for the year ahead until the next annual general meeting. Can I ask if all mobile phones are set to silent and microphones are muted until you're invited to speak, except for items 3, 4, 5 and 6, when you may wish to unmute and share your appreciation. I'd now like to carry out a quick roll call if possible. When I call your name, can you please answer? Councillor Appleyard.
Present.
Councillor Ball.
Present.
Councillor Blackburn.
Present.
Councillor Bourne.
Present.
Councillor Craig.
Present.
Councillor Crosley.
Present.
Councillor Curran, Mr. Mayor.
Present.
You're on mute, Anthony.
Councillor Jess David, I've seen you.
Present.
Councillor Davies.
Present.
Councillor Dogood.
Present.
Councillor Elliott.
Present.
Councillor Furs.
Present.
Councillor Furs.
Here.
Councillor Hedges. Councillor Hurst.
Present.
Councillor Hodge.
Present.
Councillor Malloy.
Present.
Councillor Moore.
Present.
Councillor O'Doherty.
Present.
Councillor Pancania.
Present.
Councillor Player.
Present.
Councillor Rigby.
Present.
Councillor Romero.
Present.
Councillor Roper. Councillor Roper. Councillor Samuel.
Present.
Councillor Stevenson McGall.
Present.
And Councillor Wright.
Present.
Okay, thank you. I would now like to introduce the Mayor Designate Chaplain, the Reverend Peter Edwards, to offer a prayer. The Reverend's role is a historic honorary role and he is not a voting member. I'd now hand over to Father Edwards.
Thank you. I'm a Church of England priest, so the prayers I'm about to offer are explicitly Christian prayers. If, however, you follow a different faith or none at all, I offer these as thoughts whose sentiments I trust you will be able to share. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord our God, we thank you for your many blessings given to your people, and especially for the example of loving service given to us in your Son, Jesus Christ. We give thanks for all the blessings of this past year, for the dedication and service to the people of the city of Bath, given by Councillor Jerry Curran as he served this community as Mayor over this past year, for Caroline Howarth for the support she has given as Mayoress, for Councillor Amanda Rigby for her work as Deputy Mayor. We pray for God's continuing guidance in the coming year, the outpouring of God's gifts of wisdom and understanding, of truth and love on all who hold public office in this community, and especially for Councillor Amanda Rigby, the prospective Mayor of this city, and Councillor Jerry Curran, the prospective Deputy Mayor. We pray that they may be wise stewards of their office and ambassadors for this city, that they may lead the people of this community in peace and compassion. We pray for our nation and its people, for all who bear office, that in all things they may be guided by your Spirit. We pray for those affected by the coronavirus pandemic across this nation and throughout the world, and especially for those in our own city and community, for carers in our hospital, in our care homes, for members of our emergency services, for those isolated at this time of continuing restrictions to our daily lives. Sustain and support the anxious and fearful, and lift up all who are brought low, that all may rejoice in your comfort, knowing that nothing can separate your people from your love. And finally, we ask God's blessing on our city and our people throughout this coming year, for their prosperity and safety, that this may be a community characterized by loving service by neighbour and friend. We make all these prayers in the name of Jesus Christ, the Lord. Amen.
Amen.
And if I can now introduce the Right Worshipful, the Mayor of Bath, Councillor Jerry Curran, to formally start the meeting. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Anthony. And once again, welcome everyone to what is mayor making and the annual general meeting of the Charter Trustees of the City of Bath. I will ask Anthony to give us any emergency evacuation procedures that he might wish to do.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I hope that you all know the quickest and safest route from your own homes. If you do have to exit the building, please do so in a safe manner. Do not come back into your house until it is safe to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Item 2 is apologies for absence. Anthony.
Mr. Mayor, today we've received apologies from Councillors Bromley and Councillors Kumar.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Item 3.
Councillor.
I missed that.
Sorry, my apologies for technological interference there. For Steve Hedges as well. He sent his apologies.
Thank you, Councillor Romero. Item 3. If I could ask Councillor Tim Ball, as Chair of the Standing Committee, to move the election of the Chairman of the Charter Trustees of the City of Bath and of the Mayor of the City of Bath for the year 2020-2021. Councillor Ball.
Mr. Mayor, it gives me great pleasure to propose my good friend Manda Rigby to be Mayor of Bath. We all think we know Manda. With a little bit of digging, it's surprising what you can find out. I decided this morning to say only the good things, as it runs the proper way. And just to clarify, I cannot find anything else. Manda, in her own words, said to me she was getting married today. I first thought, what she means getting married today? Well, Manda's getting married to the role of Mayor of Bath. And I know that she would do this to the best of her ability and the best interest of residents of the City of Bath. Manda was born in Bolton, lived there for the first 18 years of her life. Her dad was a footballer from Man United and others. We can forgive that a little bit. And she had a season ticket to Bolton Wanderers from age 14 to 18. Interesting decisions there. She got a scholarship to a direct grant school via the 11+. For her first degree, she went to the University of Bristol studying politics. Well, we can all see where that ended up, Manda. You've arrived at the council, you're about to enter one of the biggest roles you're going to take on as a political life. She was the first female sabbatical president of Students' Union, a big achievement in those days. In her only career advice, leaving university, was told she could not be a merchant banker. Well, she's a female and didn't go to public school. So that's what she did. We've learned not to tell man that she can't do something, because she'll only prove us wrong and we'll do it. After a successful career in the city during its heyday, Manda left to join the next big thing, technology. She is marketing director in the UK for both Cisco and Microsoft and was managing director of Netgear. She still can't get her iPad to work properly though. The next phase saw her coming to Bath in 2008 for a second degree, this time in creative writing, for which she's won awards. She combined this with consultancy work, advising companies, large and small, mainly on change management and marketing and crisis comms. We need her now. She drove into Bath, intended to go back after taking a year out, but she never left. She elected the Baines Council in 2011, become the first female chair of a football club in the top 5 divisions at Bath City Football Club. She even stood against Jacob Rees-Mogg in 2017 general election and was Bath's Woman of the Year. She loves football writing, dogs, and wine. Well, we all look at glass every now and then. I hope she won't mind me saying that her cold northern heart melted when she was told she was nominated to be mayor. There had even been a bit of emotion shown. I know she's bursting with ideas about what she can do, even in the current circumstances. I therefore move that Councillor Amanda Rigby be elected to serve the office of Chairman of Charter Trustees of City of Bath or Mayor of Bath until the next annual general meeting.
Thank you, Tim. Can I call on Councillor Michelle O'Doherty to second the motion?
Yes, thank you. Delighted to second the motion. I'm sure that Councillor Rigby will undertake her duties as mayor with her usual enthusiasm and good humour.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? No. So we shall move to the vote. Those in favour, please indicate. Is that carried, Anthony?
That appears to be unanimous, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Uh,
Sorry?
At this point in the proceedings, there would normally be the exchange of robes and civic regalia. Obviously, given the current circumstances, that cannot be done, and we would now like to show a short video in its place. Thank you. I would now like to ask the Right Worshipful, the Mayor of Bath, Councillor Amanda Rigby, to make the declaration of acceptance of office.
Thank you. Rigby, having been elected to the office of Mayor of the City of Bath, hereby declare that I shall take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to be guided by the Standing Committee of the Charter Trustees of the City of Bath and the Charter Trustee Regulations 1996. Before I start my speech, I think it would be appropriate if we have a minute's silence to remember all those people in Bath and beyond who have very sadly recently lost their lives. Thank you all very much indeed. Charter Trustees. In an alternate universe, today would be very different. There'd be pomp and ceremony. We'd be in full regalia. I'd have had my roots done. Our cheeks would be sore from smiling at people as we process through the streets. Tourists would snap away at this wonderful spectacle. Speeches would be made with pauses for laughter. Visiting dignitaries would be announced, hands would be shaken, connections would be made. For me, it would be an all too rare reason to have those I love and who love me together in the same place. This virus has destroyed many lives. My heart goes out to all those who've lost someone they love, and my undying gratitude to those people who have worked so hard during this period, including but not exclusively NHS and carers, to keep our communities going. It's also curtailed plans and dreams, and I feel for those who've had to cancel weddings or whose school or university career has ended in an unsatisfactory, unfinished way. Although your loss is not as great, it's still a loss. Instead of my robe today, I too wear my disappointment. Surrounded by stiff upper lips and taking it on the chins, it is okay to not be okay. When I was first approached about being mayor and subsequently received the nomination, I got really overexcited and I wrote my speech. This was a few months ago, before COVID. I had decided on my theme, and in many ways it's almost more relevant now than it was when I chose it. My theme is combating loneliness, Bath, the friendly city. A few statistics for you. The number of people living on their own in the UK went up by 16% to 7.7 million people between 1997 and 2017, whilst the population only rose by 13%. This rise is largely concentrated in older age groups, so extrapolating the national stats to Bath, which does have an older than the norm demographic, we have more people living on their own than ever before. In the latest ONS survey, it appears that on all 4 measures, one-person households have the lowest well-being. Those measures are, overall, how satisfied are you with your life nowadays? To what extent do you feel the things you do in your life are worthwhile? How happy did you feel yesterday? How anxious did you feel yesterday? I suspect there's almost a stigma around admitting loneliness, which needs as much attention as some of the stigmas still existing, though I believe diminishing, around mental illness. Back to my alternate universe. In the 4th row of seats, a man I don't know is sitting, and he's squirming slightly in his chair to get comfortable. His life isn't how he thought it would be. Paths taken, choices made have taken to him a place that he doesn't much like. An unhealthy dose of sheer bad luck and malevolent fate have pushed him further into an isolation he feels all the more keenly when he is surrounded by people. He listens to the music as the robe changing ceremony happens. Oh, I get it, he thinks, flushing with the unexpected pleasure of being in receipt of an insight not seen by all. She's chosen that song because Eleanor Rigby, that's her surname, isn't it? And it's got the phrase, all the lonely people. Oh, that's really apt. His squirming brings him into contact with the woman sitting next to him. He raises an apologetic eyebrow and considers telling her what he's just sussed out about the choice of music. If he does, a connection is made. If he doesn't, an opportunity is lost. He fears mansplaining, but he fears loneliness more. And that is what I want my mayoralty to be about, creating opportunities for connections. The many existing organisations in Bath which already work to combat loneliness in all its forms. I can provide contact points and I can facilitate cohesion. Reaching out to our neighbouring areas, every time I represent this glorious city, I will focus on its warmth, its welcoming friendliness, its inclusivity, its communities, as much as its architecture and setting. I love Bath and I've made it my home. I retain from Bolton, my town of birth, my flat vowels, which are especially apparent when I say the word Bath, and an unbroken desire to smile and to say hello when I pass people in the street. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have. More people are doing this now, and long may it continue. Released a bit from their zoo-like enclosures, sniffing the air appreciatively, yet nervously, they regard other humans as both a potential source of a virus, but also yearn to make a connection. We are social animals at heart. We're not suited to lengthy solitary confinement. And despite me not thinking of myself as particularly tactile, I have the deep yearning for physical contact, which only happens for the chronically untouched. So what happens next in my alternate universe? There's some more music. The man I don't know in the fourth row is thinking that I'd made the wrong choices, that if I'd had to go for the Beatles, I should have chosen I Get By with a little help from my friends. No sooner has he had this thought, but it starts playing. This makes him really happy. We all then troop back to the Guildhall, and I'm really nervous. I haven't told Anthony or Elizabeth or Tim this, but I've had a postcard made to give to each attendee. It's jolly and it's uplifting, and it talks about my theme and connections. It's for people to keep, or to pass to a friend, or to place somewhere public where someone may just come across it when they need it most. I hope they like it. In the real current world, what happens next? Well, working with all of you, we have to ensure that the mayoralty remains relevant and gives value in this new world. I guess I won't be physically attending or hosting many engagements for at least a little while, but I will do them online. I'll create online coffee mornings, virtual tours of the parlour, I'll phone people, I'll email them, I'll write to them, I'll engage however I can. During last year, a lady who was in her 80s came to the parlour for a meeting I was hosting with a group, and she told me she lived in Bath all her life and had never been invited in before because, and I quote, "It wasn't for the likes of me." I hated that. It absolutely is for the citizens of Bath, and I will derive as much pleasure from hosting the unsung heroes of our communities as I will from entertaining visiting dignitaries. I'd like to finish by quoting the first law of forensics. In every contact, you leave something behind and you take something away with you. Now that's not great if you're trying to get away with the crime, but it's not a bad way to try to live your life. Every interaction you have with people, leave some goodness behind and take what you need from the encounter. Let's have the best year we can. Thank you very much indeed.
I would just like to announce that the Mayor will sign the official declaration book at a later date when it is deemed safe to do so.
Thank you, Anthony. We're now moving on to item 4, which is the adoption of resolution of thanks to the retiring Mayor. And I'd like to call upon Councillor Andrew Furst to move this resolution.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, Charter Trustees, that the very cordial thanks of the Charter Trustees of the City of Bath be given to Mr. Councillor Gerard Francis Curran, the retiring Mayor, for the ability, courtesy, efficiency with which he has discharged the duties of Mayor during his term of office, and also to the retiring Mayoress, Caroline Howarth, MBE, for the assistance she has rendered to the retiring Mayor on all occasions in connection with his civic duties, and that a copy of the preceding resolution be engrossed on paper vellum and sealed with the common seal and signed by the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor for presentation to the retiring Mayor. People of Bath often... Sorry, Madam Mayor?
Please carry on, Councillor Furst.
Thank you. That's the official bit, Madam Mayor. People often ask me how Jerry got involved in local politics. Soon after I moved to Bath in 1990, I met Jerry, and rather than complain and moan about some specific local issue we were onto, we should get on and do something about it. So in the very first Baines elections in 1995, I campaigned with Jerry to get him onto the Baines Council, the new Baines Council. Many residents have stopped me in the street recently and to say how pleased they were to see Jerry as Mayor of Bath, as Jerry is well known across the whole of the city. Probably because how approachable he is, willing to chat and easily tempted for a yarn in a local pub. He has always maintained that if you can't take having your ear bent in a local pub, then don't stand for election. I think that's a message for all of us. And this is even more so when you are the Mayor. Since being first elected in 1995, Jerry has been elected to Kingsmead, Twerton and Coombe Down wards. So for over 20 years on Bath and North East Somerset, he's been a councillor in Bath. A long-standing school governor and Bath City Farm trustee, he has managed to maintain his job in adult social care, what we call a frontline worker in today's language. A number of events and celebrations have been missed due to the coronavirus pandemic, but he still managed over 330 events, and for many residents, they really look forward to these events and meeting the Mayor of Bath. As the 793rd Mayor, a number he will always remember, he visited a number of schools and Bath graduation ceremonies for Bath College and the two Bath universities, visited and received a number of music, theatre and charity organisations. All the churches he visited were very welcoming. He celebrated 90 years of the town's Women's Guild, and liking his food, he attended a Georgian cookery book launch. He also visited the Mayor of Kapishvar, and coincidentally, it was the 30 years of twinning, which was also and at the moment he is also the chair of the Bath Kapishvar Twinning Association, so a very apt visit. He also visited the Mayor of Beppu and met up with a contingent from Bath at the Rugby World Cup, which we all welcomed seeing him. He's received 20 organisation members from our City Twins and students from Braunschweig as well. He received the ambassadors from Taiwan, South Korea, and the High Commissioners from Australia and Malawi. A number of fundraising events with Rotary, Roundtable and Inner Wheel, and not to forget the Mayor of Arts Bath show. He received a number of students and young people groups into the parlour over his year. And a special note was a dinner on a heritage train at Avon Valley Bitton with the Wecker Mayor. Not that I'm jealous of meeting the Wecker Mayor, but of the heritage train dinner I was very, very jealous of. So it's with great pleasure, Madam Mayor, that I so move. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Fairs. Can I invite Councillor Romero to second the motion?
Yes, I'm very happy to second the motion.
Thank you, Councillor Romero. I'm putting that motion to the vote. Please can you indicate by raising hands that you are in favour? I believe that that is carried.
That is carried, Madam Mayor. I would just like to point out that the ex-mayor's medal and ex-mayoress's brooch will again be presented at a later date when safe to do so.
Thank you. Councillor Curran, can I invite you to make a speech of thanks?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you all for that vote, and thank you particularly to Councillor Romero, who not only is our glorious leader, but is also my local councillor here in Southdown, and someone I have known for many years, and Andy, of course, I've known since my beginnings in local politics back in the early 90s, and I should say congratulations to Andy on being elected recently as chairman of Bath and North East Somerset Council. And in fact, during my year as mayor, I on occasion went to events with Andy in his role as vice chair of Bath and North East Somerset Council, and I very much enjoyed those occasions with him, and I hope that he enjoys his coming year as chairman of the council alongside our new mayor, Councillor Amanda Rigby. Having been elected last year, it was a huge thrill to be asked to be mayor of the city of Bath, and I loved mayor making last year. Lots of my family were here, which was very nice, and I have to say that mayor making in the Abbey and in the Guildhall is something that we, the Charter Trustees of the City of Bath, do very well. And during my year, I become quite friendly with the Mayor of Weston-super-Mare, and I had already known the Lord Mayor of Bristol, Joss Clark, and we run the Fire Authority together many years ago. And in March, we went to the Bristol Civic Day, which is held in the Mayor's Chapel in Bristol, which is a beautiful place and a very nice occasion. And Mark from Weston-super-Mare said to me, he said it was so nice, the event in Bristol, he said, but not as good as the mayor making in Bath. which he said was probably the highlight of his mayoral year so far, walking into Bath Abbey with the music playing on the day of mayor making. So we are very, very lucky with what we have, and I do appreciate that. I've had a fantastic year. As Andy mentioned, I went to Capistrano with Councillor Sue Craig and YK, and I think we had a really nice visit. It was lovely. I've been to Capistrano before. In fact, I went with Councillor Furse when he was mayor, and I've been chair of the Twinning Association for a long time, and so it was lovely to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Twinning, and to meet people from Bath in Capistrano as well, who had come over for that event, and so it was shared. And later on in November, we planted a tree in Parade Gardens just to mark the 30th anniversary of the Twinning with Capistrano. I was also extremely lucky to be invited to Beppu by the Mayor of Beppu, and Caroline and I made the decision to pay our way to go to Beppu, where we met with also with Councillor Crosley and Councillor Furse, who were already there to watch the World Cup, and the hospitality was fantastic. We were so well looked after, and I got to see the England-Australia game and the Wales-France game. I think it was Councillor Furse who asked me had I learned the national anthem and was I going to sing it before the match, and I did remind him that the previous week I had been to the church at Bathampton for the birthday of Arthur Phillip of Australia, and I'd had the opportunity to learn the Australian national anthem on that day as well, and so I could sing both if I wanted to. But we had a really good time in Japan, and when the next World Cup comes around, which I think will be in France, if our friends from Japan choose to come and watch that and perhaps visit here on that occasion, it would be lovely to return some of that hospitality to them. One of the things that didn't happen this year was the incoming visit of a mayor from one of our twin towns, and that was the mayor of Braunschweig, who was due to come in April, and I was sad that we didn't get to do that. But during the year, one of the events that I remember greatly was a group of school children from Braunschweig came to visit Bath and came to the parlour, and it was on the morning that Extinction Rebellion were having a demonstration in the High Street outside the Guildhall, and made up mainly of young people, and it gave us the opportunity to have a really good discussion with those young people from Germany about the environment and the future for all of us, and how we might address the issues of the environment and global warming and pollution in general. I've had, as Andy has listed, I've had lovely times during my year, and meeting people from Bath and beyond, and as the Mayor has mentioned, meeting Bathonians and bringing them into the parlour, long service awards for people who have worked for a long time for Bath companies, and I have thoroughly enjoyed all of those occasions, and been very ably supported by you, the Charter Trustees, who have often come into the parlour as well to assist. And I should also thank Tim, the chair of the Standing Committee, and the Standing Committee for their support, and of course Elizabeth and Anthony, who are two long-standing employees of the Charter Trustees, and I have to say are fantastic employees, and they do their job so well, and that make everything run smoothly in our mayoral years. and so it's just for me to say good luck to our new mayor, Councillor Rigby, and I hope she has a fantastic year and that things get back to normal as quickly as possible. I was lucky enough to keep going until the 15th of March. That was my last function, and I just regret that we weren't able to do more in the last couple of months. But I hope that things get back to normal as quickly as possible, and that Manda is able to do all the things that she wants to do in her mayoral year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. We're moving on now to item number 5, and I'm calling upon Councillor Paul Crossley to move the election for the Vice Chairman of the Charter Trustees and Deputy Mayor of the City for 2020 to 2021. Councillor Crossley.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. It's a great pleasure to be creating history here today. I think Jerry is the first person that's gone from mayor to deputy mayor, so there's always chances to create new pathways to being deputy mayor. Jerry has been a wonderful servant of the City of Bath since 1995 when he got elected. It's not just being a councillor for Twerton, Kingsmead and Combe Down, but it's also all the other stuff that we as councillors do, often without much regard generally, but it's a tremendous amount. When you're doing a school governor, you're in the Twinning Authority, your City Farm Trustees, these are all extra tasks that we as Charter Trustees willingly take on. And it's not just that we willingly take on, we actually enjoy serving the community in the variety of ways, not just the council. So Jerry has been an excellent servant of the city, an excellent servant of the Charter Trustees. He was, as we've just heard, a very busy and accomplished mayor last year. And it gives me great pleasure to nominate him to serve and support Councillor Rigby as her deputy mayor for this year. So I therefore move that Councillor Jerry Curran elect to serve the office of Vice Chairman of the Trustees of the City of Bath and Deputy Mayor of the City until the next annual general meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Crossley. Can I call upon Councillor Sue Craig to second the motion?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm delighted to second the motion and look forward to supporting Councillor Curran in his new role.
Thank you very much. Are there any other nominations? I can't see any. So may I put that motion to the vote? Could you please show your acceptance of the motion by raised hands? I do declare that that motion has been carried. May I now ask Councillor Curran to make a declaration of acceptance of office?
Thank you. I, Gerard Francis Curran, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the City of Bath, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to be guided by the Standing Committee of the Charter Trustees of the City of Bath and the Charter Trustee Regulations 1996.
Please do carry on if you would like to say a few words more, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was waiting to be invited. Madam Mayor, Charter Trustees and any other honoured guests who are listening in, thank you for electing me as Deputy Mayor for the City of Bath. It is a great honour to be elected and unusual. I was Deputy Mayor 12 years ago, so this is the second time I will have been Deputy Mayor. I'm really looking forward to it. And Madam Mayor, I only hope that I am as worthy a Deputy Mayor as you have been in the previous year, supporting me. And I should have thanked you earlier more profusely for that. And I look forward to supporting you in your mayoral year this coming year. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can I just say, as with the mayor, the deputy mayor will sign the declaration book at a later date when it is safe to do so.
We're now moving on to item number 6, and for this item I'm handing over the chair to the Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. And I would ask Councillor Jess David to move a vote of thanks to the retiring Mayor.
Mr Deputy Mayor, Charter Trustees, I am delighted to move a resolution of thanks to Manda as she retires from the role of Deputy Mayor. I know that Manda has enjoyed this period immensely, in particular the huge range of activities and events that she has been able to take part in over the last year, and the people she has met. 95 events in total. From judging the dog with the waggiest tail at the Bath Cat and Dogs Home, which I know was one of Manda's favourites, to reopening a branch of Greg's and tasting the famous vegan sausage roll, which I think is my favourite. What a year, Manda. I know you've done everything with enormous energy, interest and enthusiasm, and I look forward to your year as Mayor and the connections you will help us all to make. And so I would like to move that the very cordial thanks of the Charter Trustees of the City of Bath be given to Councillor Manda Rigby, the retiring Deputy Mayor, for the ability, courtesy and efficiency with which she has discharged the duties of Deputy Mayor during the mayoralty of Mayor Jerry Curran. And that a copy of the preceding resolution be engrossed on paper vellum and sealed with the common seal and signed by the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor for the presentation to the retiring Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor David. I call upon Councillor Pankania to second that motion.
Thank you, and I second the motion, and we wish you well, Madam Mayor. This is an important job and troubled times. We're wishing you a lot of well.
Thank you, Councillor Pankania. I'd now like to put that to the vote. Those in favour? Oops. And I believe that is carried. And I'd like to invite the outgoing Deputy Mayor to speak. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Charter Trustees, I would like to thank a lot of people for their support during my year as Deputy Mayor. Firstly, the residents of Bathwick for voting for me and giving me the chance to take this role. And then all you Charter Trustees for putting your faith in me when you elected me last year. I'd like specifically to thank Councillors Jess David and Barrett Pankania for nominating and seconding me last year. Tim Moore for his guidance as Chair of the Standing Committee. I chose not to have a nominated consort, so I asked many people to accompany me on my engagements. And thanks to the many, many Charter Trustees who did so. I'm not going to name you all, but you know who you are and all the memories that we share. There were many local residents and friends who also came along to help me represent the City of Bath when I was standing in for the Mayor, and I will name them. Thanks to Howard Gardner, Brenda Wiley, Nola Wright, Faye Mills, Elizabeth Warren and Melanie Bullard. We had some fun. Last but not least, thanks to the mayoral officials for guarding me with their swords and maces, to Nick and his team for getting me to where I needed to be safely, and to Anthony and Elizabeth for not only running the office but also for their friendship. Thank you all.
Thank you. And I now hand the chairing of the meeting back to you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. I believe we're now on item 7, which are the minutes of the last meeting.
I would like to call upon Councillor Ruth Malloy to propose that the minutes of the Charter Trustee meeting held on Tuesday, 21st of January 2020 be approved.
Right, thank you. Yes, so I would like to propose that the minutes of the Charter Trustee meeting held on Tuesday, the 21st of January 2020 be approved.
I would now like to call upon Councillor Winston Duguid to second that motion.
Thank you, Anthony. I'm pleased to second the motion.
Okay, I will put that motion to the vote. Please can we have a show of raised hands? Yep, that definitely looks like it's carried. I will sign the minutes at a later date. We're now moving on to item number 8, official or mayor's communications.
There are no official mayor's communications for this meeting.
Thank you, Anthony. Item number 7, election of members of the Standing Committee for 2020 to 2021.
The nominations for membership of the Standing Committee are the following councillors: Councillor T. Ball, Councillor C. Blackburn, Councillor P. Crosley, Councillor Y. Kumar, Councillor R. Malloy and Councillor S. Moore. I will now call upon Councillor Richard Samuel to move the election of members of the Standing Committee.
Thank you. I move that the membership of the Standing Committee shall be those Charter Trustees nominated.
Thank you. And can I call upon Councillor Joanna Wright to second this motion?
Pleased to second the motion.
May we put this motion to the vote, please, again by a show of hands? Yes, I declare that motion carried. Item number 10, any items which the Mayor considers to be urgent?
Madam Mayor, I'm not aware that you made me aware of any items that are urgent.
That is completely correct. So we move on to item 11, the date of the next meeting. It will be held in June and it will be held via Zoom, but unfortunately we aren't currently in a position to confirm what date. Before I close the meeting, can I just say a couple more words? Thank you all very, very much for giving up your Saturday morning to do this. This is historic. We've never done this before. I think a lot of us are finding a lot of things that we're doing now for the first time. But thank you very much. It's not been the meeting that I had envisaged, but it's been an absolutely wonderful meeting. Very, very special thanks need to go to Jenny Pack, who actually put so much time and effort into making this the success it's been. So thank you so much, Jenny. And that being said, at 11:45, I declare this meeting closed. Thank you.